You're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You just watched a massively viral video featuring a woman who was not so happy about the fact that a guy tried to take her to a Cheesecake Factory on a first date. She wouldn't even get out of the car as a result. Now, there has been this raging debate online about this whole issue, about acceptable locations for a first date. But first, let's actually go back to the video that we showed you, okay? Later on in the video, the man explains that he actually had a reservation at a nice restaurant for the woman, but she was an hour late, so he took her to Cheesecake Factory instead, right? And by the way, fancy restaurants, you can't just show up whenever you want. If you miss your reservation, you miss your reservation.
Yeah, that's what he explains in the video, that we didn't leave your house until the time of the reservation, so that reservation is gone. So like we had to go to Plan B, which was Cheesecake Factory.
How do you not like Cheesecake Factory?
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. I'm so glad we are on the same page about this, because I wasn't sure what you were gonna say. Dude, slide into my DMs. Take me to the Cheesecake Factory. I will go any day with you to the Cheesecake. I love the Cheesecake Factory. Is awesome. You can get anything you want. They got taquitos.
Yes.
They got chicken parm. They got crab wontons. Yo, I just looked up the menu today in preparation for this story. They have kimchi fried rice.
No way.
It's being Korean, it's not gonna be on point. Just manage your expectations.
But good enough,
It's not gonna be legit kimchi. But the fact that they have kimchi fried rice on the menu.
It's amazing.
At the Cheesecake Factory. Yo, anybody can take me to the Cheesecake Factory any day of the week. Please take me to the Cheesecake Factory.
The Cheesecake Factory's menu is as thick as an encyclopedia. For those who were born after 2000, the encyclopedia was like the first version of the internet, basically, okay?
That's the other thing, is if the date is not going well, at least you can both like have literature to read. You're just
It's
like,
amazing.
Oh, look, they have
it's like leather bound.
Oh, they have like crab quesadillas, and they have, like, you could just read it if the date's not going well and just go, oh, and look at the lemonade choices they've got. Like, there's so much to do just by reading the menu of the Cheesecake Factory if the date's not going well. I mean, and then she felt bad at the end.
So let's get to the other details. First of all, let me get this caveat out of the way, right? We don't know for sure if this was real or if it was just like a cheesy skit, but that to me doesn't matter, because I will admit I have personally had conversations about this with some girlfriends. The more bad and bougie among us, I'm definitely not in that group. I love my friends, but I would not complain about cheese. I'd be elated. Cheesecake Factory is awesome.
Over the moon. I would, seriously, dude, slide into my DMs.
And this, by the way, did strike a chord with people online. So pretty much all of the top comments on the video are in agreement that even if you're not into the Cheesecake Factory, you shouldn't treat someone like that. So let's take a look. I like the Cheesecake Factory. Oh, he seems so nice. I would have been so hyped for the Cheesecake Factory. Let's go to another one. I like the Cheesecake Factory. Girl, bye. He dodged a bullet, perfectly played. And obnoxious behavior aside though, how do the people feel about Cheesecake Factory as a first date, right? That's a specific distinction.
Yes.
First date, okay? So let's hear what they have to say.
Bitch like me ain't never turning down no Cheesecake Factory. Never. I'm never turning down Cheesecake Factory, and I don't hang out with bitches that think they too good for the Cheesecake Factory.
What the hell is wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? Ain't nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. Not only is there nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, the Cheesecake Factory ain't that damn cheap. By the way, I hear they have great salmon too. I hear they have great salmon as well, okay?
Cheesecake Factory is acceptable for a first date. I don't even know if I like you. You don't know if you like them. Why are they spending $500 on a first date? Why are we going to Mastro's?
If you're about to go out with a man and he chooses the $1 sign restaurant, still go. He might be a cool dude, but ask him to stop texting you freaky stuff. You only allowed to talk freaky deaky at $3 sign restaurants.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
I love that Joy Taylor was involved, and she's totally right, by the way. I would be actually a little more weirded out by being like, if the guy took me to a Michelin star
100%.
place, right?
And in fact, I am chronically single. Hey, everybody. But I will actually refuse to go. And now, at this point in my life, I actually refuse to do more than a coffee.
You know, smart.
Because it's too much pressure, and I don't want you expecting anything from me. If you take me to a Mastro's and spend $500, and then what are you expecting from me? I'm not. I didn't sign no contract here. You know what I mean? I agreed to nothing. And so I actually prefer going on a coffee date. My time is more precious at this point, where I'm like, I wanna know, I'm gonna know within the first 5 minutes whether I'm going on a second date with you or not. And I don't wanna have to sit through an hour and a half meal with you on a first date if I automatically know that I don't like you. And I don't.
See, Helen, this is why I trust you.
Yes.
This is why I like hosting with you. You're a smart woman.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head.
Ladies, your time is precious.
It is, and it's the worst when your first date is, forget the chain restaurant, any dinner date for a first date, I think is a bad idea.
Too long.
Because it is too long. Your well-being is in the hands of the server. And if the server's busy and you're on a bad date, you are stuck. And it is awful.
I mean, it could drag on, if you're in a busy restaurant, it could drag on for 2 hours.
Oh my God.
And it's torture. You're on a first date with someone who you knew within 2 minutes, you were like, nah. And now you're stuck here. Even if you were at a Mastro's, even if you were at a bougie 5-star restaurant, 4-star restaurant, Michelin star, well, I don't even know how many stars. And now you're just like,
yeah, it's terrible.
Like bored and just awkward and wanting to get out of there. No, ladies, your time is precious. Make it a coffee date, make it a cocktail date, a happy hour.
Gentlemen.
Boom, boom, get in, get out. You'll know whether you want. And then the second date, if you do like him, then you can be like, hey, how about we try out that bougie spot?
By the way, same goes for men, right? Like your time is precious too. You don't know if you're gonna be into this woman. Why are you taking her to a dinner date for the first date? Like I just don't think it makes any sense.
No.
There are more potential downsides than upsides. By the way, I'm gonna make an admission that I'm probably gonna regret. Should I do it or not?
Do it.
Okay, so when I was single, I did find myself in a terrible situation. It was a first date, it was a dinner date, and I did not like this guy.
Painful.
He was pretty awful, incredibly self-absorbed. He was pursuing acting in Los Angeles.
Red flag.
Had no interest in anything I had to say because I maybe said like 2 or 3 words throughout the dinner date. And he just kept talking about like, what he wants to pursue, how great he is. He's so talented, but no one gives him a shot. Very self-centered. And I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. Went to the bathroom, seriously considered just leaving, but I couldn't do that. That was too cruel. But then I went back and I told him, my God, there's an emergency. I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
You soft ghosted him.
I did. But I didn't just
him.
leave. I told him that I made up an emergency and then I left. That's better, right? Don't judge me. I was doing him a favor.
No, yeah.
I did it for him, right? Okay, now. This month, a woman on Facebook posted a list of 28 places that she and her female friends think that women would absolutely refuse to go to for a first date. And that's a lot of places, but many of them were, well, I don't know if these are reasonable. Taylor, these are not reasonable. Come on, except for your house. Sorry to call you out, sorry to blast you like that. So let's give you some of the examples. So 5 on the list was Olive Garden. They've got salad and breadsticks, Taylor.
Unlimited breadsticks,
I'll take the breadsticks.
Unlimited breadsticks.
I'll take bread. Okay.
And salad.
Bread makes me happy.
That is good. You people are so bougie. Jeez.
First date at your house,
no,
I will admit, unacceptable and awkward.
Nope.
Yeah. Any fast food place?
Yeah.
It depends.
That's towing the line.
Fast casual, maybe we could have a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fast casual, but not a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We can't be going for nuggets, or we can't be going for Taco Bell on a first date. Like, I'd rather just
Taco Bell.
Let's just go for coffee or an ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But like,
I agree.
not a Taco Bell. No.
Honestly, there's other things on this list that I actually agree are inappropriate. I think Denny's is always inappropriate. not just on a first date, okay? I don't know why you take a date to church for their first date. Starbucks, I think Starbucks is fine.
Totally fine.
Like a coffee house is fine.
I mean, not Starbucks, the literal Starbucks, because they're awful and they're union busters and all kinds of horribleness. So don't go to Starbucks. But the local coffee, a local coffee shop that is not union busting and you know, doing everything else that they're doing that's horrible, that Starbucks does.
Yeah.
Local coffee shop, perfect place for a first date. Get in,
it is
get
perfect. Out. And it's daytime, right? Like quick daytime date. See if you're into it, because you don't want to.
Non-committal.
You're not going to squander your evening, are you, on a bad date, potential bad date?
And the other thing, ladies, if you're doing this, and I know this is very cis heteronormative conversation, you know, in cis heteronormative world that we're living in, right? Ladies, don't demand that the man pay for lobster and steak and a 5-course meal that adds up to $500 when you automatically know that you're not gonna give him a second date, because then he's bitter and that's when he gets to me.
That's so true.
That's when he ends up with me being like, Taco Bell for you, biatch.
But
that's what's happening for you, because I got burned by the last biatch that made me pay for.
You know, I'm gonna do a Joe Biden and say, Taco Bell is delicious. I love Taco Bell. Family functions inappropriate for a first date and a second date and a third date. Let's wait a while for the family functions.
Yeah, that's
okay.
So awkward. You don't want to meet Nana on the first. No, I'm not meeting your Nana on the first date. I'm
In
sorry.
my case, abuela, which I met, you know, long after Christian and I had established a relationship.
Yeah, you can't be meeting abuela on the first date.
No, it would be very strange, very, very strange. Now, other things that appeared on the list I disagree with. I think the movies could be fine for a first date. You're not really talking much, you're watching a movie.
Exactly. You know, I encountered this a lot being a stand-up comic, is that a lot of people will go to the stand-up comedy club as a first date, which is good if you get there early and then you have a little bit of chance to chit chat. But if you just go to the comedy club and then peace out after, you have not had a conversation. You've enjoyed a fun time together, but like you haven't gotten to know each other at all.
That's such a good point.
So, conversation kind of important on a first date.
Exactly, like if you make sure to allocate some time for that conversation to get to know each other. I think comedy clubs could be fantastic for a first date.
Comedy clubs are fantastic if you go to see the show and then afterwards have a drink, because your endorphins are up, you've had a good time, you've laughed, you've shared an experience, you can chat, oh, I love that joke about that, or I didn't love the joke about that.
Yeah, conversation starter, super smart.
Yes.
Okay, now finally, a lot of people have been talking about this list, including none other than Ben Shapiro's doppelganger, Brett Cooper of the Daily Wire. So I have no idea what her take is. Let's watch.
As women post things like this, in all seriousness, they get together in their little group, make up this list, they post it, and then they wonder why men tap out. And they're like, oh, if that's all you're demanding, I'm out of here. I just won't date at all. We've done a ton of episodes about how men are leaving the dating scene. You wonder why? Maybe it's because you were demanding insane things like a coffee date is not an acceptable first date. In today's economy, you cannot seriously expect that any guy who asks you out is going to be able to take you to a $5 sign steakhouse and pick you up in an Uber Black on a casual Wednesday night. That's not how it works. It's not gonna work like that. What you can actually look for is somebody who treats you with kindness and respect, who is dating you with intention, who shows up to your dates dressed nicely, with his hair combed, with a smile on his face, who has a plan for the date, whatever it may be, whether it's bowling or ice cream or coffee, which are all acceptable options.
Look, overall, I agree with her. Just one small area of disagreement is, look, if you're a guy who's been dating and you're super discouraged and you've stopped dating altogether because you had an experience with one woman who like was being ridiculous and demanding, that's on you. Like I went on like a billion bad dates when I was single. I didn't give up. So like, I think it's a weak excuse to give up, but she's kind of speaking on behalf of men there. I don't know if that's really something that's or dissuading men from dating.
Yeah.
But everything else she said, I agree with.
I thought she was on point. I do agree with the thing that the one point that you disagreed with. I also disagreed with, but hey, I've been on like a billion bad dates, and the one thing I will say is, and I suggest this as a suggestion to other cis hetero women that are in the dating scene. If you know right away on the first date that you don't like the guy, go halvesies. Split the date, split the bill, because then you have the agency. You have the agency to be like, later, skater. I don't owe you nothing.
Skater?
Yeah, like I don't owe you nothing. We split the bill. You don't. You have zero ability to expect anything or demand anything from me. And
by the way,
and goodbye.
They don't have the right to demand anything from you anyway. Like even if you have them pay for the whole thing, I think it's good etiquette, and I think it's way more kind and considerate to split the bill, especially if you don't think you're really vibing with the guy.
Exactly.
But I really want to emphasize, no one owes anyone anything.
Yeah.
Okay, dating is awkward enough. Let's not put that kind of pressure on anybody.
Yeah, that's true. And to the men out there, don't be expecting, like, I'm gonna take this, don't be expecting, just everybody needs to chill out with the expectations. Like dating is hard, and you gotta kiss a lot of frogs, and manage your expectations, and on both sides, like men and women, both. And just make it a coffee date or an ice cream date or a short an ice cream date, right?
Yes.
Ice cream Wednesday.
I love it.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.